This is Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social. I'm joined for the first time in an interview with Mr. Thomas Carty. You are a fucking unit, I must say, in person. Bit petrifying. Luckily, I'm not on the receiving side of some of those punches. How are you, brother?
You're not my weight class, bro. You're lucky enough, yeah. I'm good. I arrived here this morning. Yeah, I'm fantastic, bro. Yeah.
Look, I was just with Dillian's team now, and I think it's quite refreshing, actually. Spoke to Dillian, he said, look, in these sort of fight nights, he always wants to get people that he manages on the card. He's got you and Fabio on the card this time round. Just speaking to his lawyers, and they were like, make sure you interview Thomas, make sure you interview Thomas. Already planning on doing it, but really nice that they're sort of making sure that everyone gets the limelight.
Absolutely, man. You know, when I started out in this boxing game, I didn't have any big promoter. I didn't have any manager, you know. I was being managed and coached and trained by Pascal, you know, my coach. So to even be here is a bit surreal, you know. And then the fact that they're so good at their job as well, it's crazy. They had me on this card, they got me on the Conlon card, you know. CROKE Park are coming to, Matchroom come to CROKE Park, hopefully in 2023. And I'd say without their backing, it'd be very hard to get on a show like that, you know what I mean? And then with their backing, I'm fairly confident now that we can make it happen, you know. So I'm blessed, man, absolutely blessed.
Well, he mentioned it up on the stage. He said about CROKE Park, Eddie Hearn.
He doesn't want to get me too excited, he was saying.
He's mentioned it now, so you are excited.
Yeah, he's mentioned it a few times. Yeah, I seen him mention it last week at a fight night as well. Mention my name. So, yeah, of course you're going to get excited, man. I live beside CROKE Park. It's mental, you know.
I think something that Eddie said before is that CROKE Park card, there's going to be so many people that want to be on it. It's got to be really, really like close matchup. Name that's been thrown about for yourself on that card is Johnny Fisher, the Romford Bull. Is that a test that you would take happily on that to get out at CROKE Park?
Yeah, 100%. You know, I'm in this game to fight the best. If that's who they want to put me in with, no problem. You know, we'd entertain that fight, but I can't see it happening realistically. You know, I think Eddie was joking about when he said he was laughing after he said maybe Johnny Fisher. I don't think they're going to bring him to CROKE Park to put him in a 50-50 with myself, is what they'd call it. You know, I can't see it happening. You know what I mean? So I think a more realistic fight for CROKE Park maybe me fighting for an Irish title or a Celtic title. You know, realistically, being genuine about it. But if it comes to it, he wants to put me in and wants to make a fancy matchup, no problem. You know what I mean? But realistically, I can't see it happening. I think he knows himself. You know.
One of those ones that we can hope and maybe get. Look, let me ask you about Dillian Whyte. He takes on Jermaine Franklin. A lot of talk has been said about this. Jermaine very vocal online, but then when it comes to the press conference, not really saying much. His team doing a lot of the talking for him. What do you make of it all?
Personally, you know, as a fighter myself, you know, I don't think there's many people out there that would give it all that talk to Dillian's face, you know. You kind of can't blame Jermaine. He's given all the big talk online, but when it came down to it, he didn't have fancy it in person, and you know, you can't blame the guy. I don't think many people would. Dillian's a loose, as you're saying, Dillian's a loose one, you know what I mean? You never know what you're going to get, so I can see why he'd be a bit more quiet in person than online.
Zizo, someone that's part of Buddy McGirt's training team, said that Dillian's just been bowling over opponents in sparring in the States, and that probably one of the reasons that they had to come to London was to get more sparring over here.
Listen, when I met Dillian first, it was through a sparring camp. You know, he called me in for sparring when he was due to fight Otto Wallen, and I've seen firsthand what happens. You know, I've seen it. I can verify it. He bowls over a fair few people, all right? Yeah, it's a common occurrence with Dillian, but yeah, I can imagine, you know, they probably ran two sparring partners, need to come here to get more sparring. You know, I well believe it, yeah.
Speaking about now for next year, maybe March, April, that rematch with Anthony Joshua, a really, really big fight, obviously a stadium sellout in that. Look, how does that fight go this time round?
This time round, AJ and Dillian, you know, I think they've both improved since the last time, but I think in terms of a fight, it's another fancy matchup, you know what I mean? I'm going to back my guy Dillian, but what a fight, man. I actually can't even imagine what way it's going to go. It's going to be carnage, you know. But definitely back Dillian on it. I think he's improved tenfold since then. You know, AJ was already an elite athlete then. I don't think Dillian necessarily took it as serious as he takes things now. I heard Eddie talking today about, you know, is the fire still burning and that. I think Dillian's more hungry now than he's ever been, personally, just from being around. I was in Portugal at the very beginning of this camp before Dillian flew to the States. I was in Portugal for a week or so, when we weren't even really supposed to be in camp as such, and his training intensity is just different level, you know what I mean? So I can definitely tell you he's taking it very, very serious these days. Just
finally from me, for people that maybe haven't watched you box before, what can we expect to see from Thomas Carty come Saturday night on what is a really, really big card?
On Saturday night, you can expect. I've had a really good camp, really good. I know everybody always says it, but I've had a really good camp, really good sparring. You know, I've been sparring with Nick Campbell there. He's living in Belfast. He's a big fight on December 17th, so we've been getting some good rounds in. Sparring with Mike Perez, you know, really, really accomplished heavyweight and cruiserweight. Yeah. So I've been getting fantastic rounds in, no injuries, no niggles. So expect some explosive boxing on Saturday night. You know, I'm really, really feeling good lately. I feel like I'm putting punches together fantastic. Training camp went fantastic. Got plenty, even though it was announced late, I got plenty of notice, you know what I mean? So I'm buzzing myself, man. I'm gonna make sure everybody tunes in on Saturday.
Brother, pleasure talking. First of many, I hope. And to everyone at Boxing Social, make sure they're following the journey of this man here.
Absolutely.